Well, day in and day out, millions of medical workers are leading the fight against COVID-19 in every corner of the world. But what's it like for them at the end of their long shift? We wonder sometimes how they manage to stress or how they recharge. Joining us now is Johnny Wang, a resident doctor at Cedars-Sinai Medical Hospital in Los Angeles, California. He's a doctor by day and a photographer by night. Dr. Wang, thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us about your hobby. Share with us how you came across your love for photography amid your very heavy medical schedule.
Well, I've always been interested in taking photos, and the real big impetus was during college when I started hanging out with a bunch of people who were really into photography, and they took me on these crazy trips, you know, in the middle of the night and early in the morning to take photos. And that's really where everything got kicked off. And I think since then, it's just been a natural extension to wherever I go. If I see something, then I've got to take a photo of it.
Whether it be a skyscraper, a huge photograph of a city, the skyline, or even nature and the mountains. These photos, Doctor, are very inspirational and a breath of fresh air. It shows there's so much more out there in the world to see and enjoy amid these challenging times.
Absolutely, you're totally right. And I think especially when you're in the hospital, you're still focused on work, trying to get through the day. So to be able to take a moment to look outside and appreciate the views that you do get from within the hospital, it's really important and sort of keeps you going.
I know, a lot of work, maybe 36-hour days for you, particularly now with the COVID-19 pandemic. California is one of the highest cases in the United States. But, you know, I was looking through your portfolio, Doctor, and just looking at your photographs, particularly the one that you hashtag Earth Day, and your caption, "Let's do our part today to have a better tomorrow." So, you know what, Doctor, we have a responsibility to take care and save our Mother Earth here.
Absolutely. And, you know, you're seeing all these photos right now. They are all taken from in the hospital. But if you look from the same spots at this time, you're not going to see anything close to this. It is completely yellowed and grayed out on the outside, extremely hazy. You can't see a thing.
But when you travel beyond the hospital, when you take a holiday, after you take the photograph and when you leave these places, what thoughts and sentiments do you take back with you about the place?
You know, it's interesting because sometimes the photos themselves may not trigger the memories. It's the times where I'm maybe not too focused on taking a photo that I remember the memory more vividly. Because I think when you do take a photo, you're so focused on trying to capture it that you're not spending your time enjoying the moment. So in more and more recently, I've started to take fewer and fewer photos and just try to enjoy the time that I'm having.
Fewer and fewer photos, Doctor, because you've become more busy with your medical schedule. But eventually, do you plan to share these photos, these inspiring photos in an exhibit, just instead of just posting them on social media?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I'm really started to take these photos and put them in sort of a physical media, and I actually have the book right here, and it's the photo album of all the photos that you're seeing on the side here. So being able to take them and print them out and be able to give them as gifts to other people, I think is a really awesome thing to do. And so far, everyone has really enjoyed having these in physical form. So who knows, maybe in the future, just whenever the time is right, whenever the opportunity comes along, something like this will happen again. It just sort of came to my mind one day, and now here it is.
Dr. Wang, my wish for Christmas is to have one of those books. I hope you can send one over to the Philippines right after this conversation that we have. I would love to have that in my living room and look through and sift through the pages of your photographs. But
You Yeah, give me an address. I'm more than happy to send one over.
I will Viber or WhatsApp you right after this show and give you my address so you can send it over from LA all the way to Manila. But tell us,
Sounds good.
is there any theme or is there any subject that you still are dreaming of that you would like to photograph when you have the time out of your medical schedule?
Not really. I think a lot of it just comes down to whatever I come across. It's sort of a spur in the moment, especially with a lot of these photos where I'm just walking around and looking up in the sky. So not any topic specifically. It's more just to keep taking photos. I think that's the most important thing. Just keep taking them. Naturally, people start getting better and start to develop their own craft and art.
Dr. Johnny Wang, thank you so much for those inspirational photographs and for sharing with us your journey right here on The Final Word on CNN Philippines.
No problem. Just really quick, I wanted to thank all my residency faculty and staff, all of my co-residents, the nursing and operating room staff. It's not just one person going through this. It's a whole group of people behind each and every one of us. Special shout out to Angelo, one of the Filipino nurses on our 7 North floor, who was able to make this interview possible in the first place. You have one person on the interview, but there's a whole support group behind him. So that's really important to remember.
You, doctor, and our Filipinos in your hospital are frontliners and our heroes in the fight against this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.